Let me show you how easy it is to do an interval recording within iBAA. Let's launch iBAA and we'll select interval recording. We'll do a standard recording here. And again, we've noticed that the asterisks are required fields here. So let's select the student, John Smith, and we'll hit save. Our date and time stamp is appropriate because it's right now. However, if I wished, I could select it and change the date to February, and then hit save. The environment isn't a required field, however, it's another area that you can sort data in later on for your reports. So if you chose to put in lunchroom or classroom, you could put that information into the environment. Also, the form is going to be a required field, so let's select a form. We have populated it with default forms. If you wish, though, you can create a new form, and we'll show you how in a later video. It's very similar to entering in a new student. We'll save and select this default form. The next thing is the settings. Within settings, you can change the session length. Maybe we only want it to be 10 minutes, and maybe we'd like 5-second intervals instead of the default 15-second intervals. We'll select save. If the device is capable of doing it, you'll get notices on either the session or the interval on when it has ended. If your device is able to, you can turn on vibration so that it's on and off, and that'll be the notification, or you can have it be a sound that'll play. The other great thing with interval recording is you can select if you'd like to do observations including a peer. So you can select peer on or off. We'll select save once these settings are all set. Now that we've entered in all this information, we're ready to begin our recording. So let's begin. Here we see that John Smith, this is his interval recording session. The session time is counting down from 10 minutes, and the interval time is counting down every 5 seconds. So what we'll see is John Smith, maybe he's actively engaged, and a peer is being noisy. You can see the colors changing from green when they're selected, and when the interval has passed, the button changes back to blue. If you chose to, you can decide to pause this and do a functional report in the middle of this interval recording, or you can select resume. As you're continuing with the data entry, you might decide that you have enough data and you may not need to go the entire length of the session. So you can choose stop, and you can either resume, stop and save, or stop and don't save. This is up to you to decide if you have enough relevant information. We'll go ahead and select stop and save. Our interval has been recorded. And that's how you do an overview of interval recordings within iBAA.